Hey guys, Dave here with something a little bit different that I thought we would do today. This is a tutorial, well, not really a tutorial, just kind of an explanation, and maybe if you want to play around with it yourself, it's kind of cool. This is to explain the four types of music, I guess, or sound that comes out of an NES. Now, the main four types, I'll just give you an overview. They're called There's two square waves, and they literally look, if you put them on an oscilloscope, they look square-shaped. Then they have a triangle-shaped one. And then finally we have just noise, which is essentially just static. So I guess before I get too crazy with it, we just dive right in. I'm going to start the game, and I'm going to let you listen to a game that you already know, Castlevania. Play real quick, just real quick, just for a second, so you can hear the sound. You got like a bass line. You got kind of a drum kit. You can hear it. So then you also have the sound effects of the whip and everything like that. You can hear that the whip kind of makes the. So anyways, let's just reset this. And you can see the menu screen up top, but you can't actually use it, or you can't actually see it when I pull it down. But I'm going to go into the sound menu, and right now I'm looking at the master, the square, the sound, the triangle, and the noise. Now there are several other ones, like if you had a Famicom disk system, or you had an NES with an extra sound chip in it, an FM sound chip. It's a whole nother story. I just want to get down to the four basic channels of an NES. So let me drop the noise, which is essentially just static. It's a static noise, and you can see that it sounds completely different. You also see that the noise that they use for the chain whip is no longer there. You can hear the bass line. You can hear bass line. And you can hear the two tonal, like the melodies part. So you can see that the stuff's kind of whipped away. So let me pause that, and then just real quick, I'll drop another sound. Let me drop the triangle, which is kind of like the bass line. And you can hear just the two melodies together. It's the sound of the things getting picked up. You can hear just the right, and then these two kind of work in harmony with each other. There are several different things that it can do. Let me pause real quick, and let me go back to the sound. Let me drop the squares and just put the bass line up, the triangle noise. Here we go. You can listen to this. Yep, you can hear nothing else is making a noise. Yep. If you looked at this on an oscilloscope, it would essentially just be a triangle wave. It would be just triangle waves. So you can see here, it's basically just the bass line of the song, and a lot of other ones use maybe the bass line for other things, but for Castlevania, which is one you've all heard. So. Alright, let me pause it one more time, and you can hear that the pause noise didn't come up. And I mean, you can mess with this stuff. If you've got the emulator Nestopia is a really good one that you can mess with the four channels and just kind of fool around to see what actually all these sounds make and how they overlap, and how the sound programmers use those four channels to make a gajillion stuff, like basically anything from Mario to Castlevania to Mega Man and all those things, all the main the main ones that stick in your head that you've heard since forever that you immediately recognize, they're essentially just using 4 channels. They're using 2 square waves, which they use in harmony. Triangle 1, which is kind of like a bass line, and noise, which is essentially just static. So here you go. Let me just listen to the noise channel. You can hear that makes that noise, and it changes. They can change the pitch on that. So it's basically just white noise that they kind of pitch up and down to make the. You can hear. Watch out for that. So as you can see, there are all different ways to do this, and I think that this is just kind of a cool little demonstration that the NES, for all its intents and purposes, being so simple, a lot of these guys, they really used the technology in such a way that they really just put everything together. So let me just go back and put everything back the way it was, just real quick, so you can hear that. Just a little simple and maybe like a dum 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 dum, and then a couple little harmony noises and high pitched stuff, and you essentially have everything that is what this is. You can break it down almost like tracks on like a you know, like a master track that maybe, say, like a record producer would put down. He would start tweaking the stuff. He'd bring the bass up. He'd bring the guitars in and stuff like that. This is essentially what it is. It's just like a big mixing board. So you can hear the program here now. This is everything. You can see that all of them mixed together. So it's not just one track that they put together, but it's essentially four different master tracks that they kind of mix together, and they use in such a way that makes it pretty cool. So let me just finish up this level and talk to you. We have other ones. I was going to do Mario 3, which is always a good one. It's got quite a lot of different stuff, but Castlevania is also one that everybody knows. So, well, there you go, guys. It's just a simple 10-minute, 7-minute one that I did. I'm not going to try to do anything specific, but like I said, if you've got the emulator Nestopia and you want to mess around with that, you can actually hear how all these sound effects and music were put in and laid in separately. It's kind of cool. So, have a nice night, guys. I hope that you enjoyed it.